Peace, world, and welcome to Foundation Radio. My name is Adam Barnard. Thank you again for joining me today on another YouTube exclusive for you here, just special for you. That's right, you listening right now. This is special just for you because I'm taking it all the way back. We're not even talking about to the beginning of the podcast in 2019. No. We're going all the way back to the 91.7 WCUR FM days. From March 31st, 2011. That's right, we're digging it out. We're blowing the dust off of it. This is my very first, actually, I guess you could say, Foundation chat with Jackass's Bam Margera. He came to the radio station very randomly. He and I had spent some time together back during that period, and I had asked him a few times to come to the station after I had joined it. And if you've never listened to WCUR 91.7 FM in Westchester, you should definitely check them out and definitely support them. They're a wonderful group of people. And if you're over there at WCU and you're in the undergrad program, it's definitely something that you should get involved in because it really was the time of my life being a part of that station. And so I'd asked him a few times if he wanted to come by. It was something that he wanted to do. And it was, we were never really able to hammer it out. He was filming Jackass 3D at the time. And he was still a really big star then. And so we kind of waited and bided our time, and I remember standing in front of my house this day. It was a warmer day in March. It was, just on the cusp of spring, and I get a text on my phone probably 7:15, and he said to me, what time does your show start? And we had our show every Thursday from 8 to 10 p.m., and I said it starts at 8 o'clock. I texted him back, said, that's when we go live. He said, perfect, I'll see you there. It's at Psych, Student Union, right? I said, yeah. So I was like, oh, crap, I got to get everybody together. So my co-hosts at the time, Greg Mead and Sam Krepps, who you recognize both from the archived shows here at Foundation Radio, have been a part of the show for a long time. We whipped it together. And, I wouldn't say this is more of a chat as much as it is a round table. If you ever listened to Radio Bam before, the old program that used to be on Sirius XM, it's definitely got a feel to it in that regard. It's definitely more of an open conversation and a fun, lively chat between us all. Bam tells a lot of great stories on here about Ryan G's wedding and a lot of the trouble he got into there. We talk about Jackass 3 and Jackass 3D, which had been coming out. Jackass 3D had actually come out already, and 3.5 was coming out on some streaming service. I'm not even sure is even in business anymore. You'll hear him talk about it in the interview and in the conversation. But we also talk about some of the weirder celebrity interactions that he had. And we also talk about the time that he and I went to visit Brandon Novak while he was in lockup at Chester County Prison. And I did not at the time then, and I don't have it on my bingo card now, asking Bam to if he was wearing underwear that day. So it was a very awkward conversation, and we do talk about that in great detail on this episode. And just like the Yellow Wolf episode, this is pulled directly from the old boards at WCUR, so you're going to hear a lot of static. You're going to hear a lot of, it's not mixed very well, so you're just going to have to deal with it because that's the only copy that I have, and that's the way it was recorded all the way back when. This was actually also a notable moment at WCUR because it was the first time we'd had anybody of notable name stop by the station in a long time, and at the time, we were just really getting onboarded with our streaming platforms and our online streaming logins. And so from WCUR.org, we shared out the link to stream live, and Bam shared it on his massive Twitter account at the time, and it actually crashed the servers for our website for about 3 hours. We weren't able to get anybody to listen. So the folks who were on and already listening kept the stream, and the folks who were in Westchester were listening, but anybody else couldn't hear it. So we had to re-air this interview in its entirety the following week as a special treat for the folks who weren't able to listen to it. And but in here you'll hear a couple of swear words that we got through on the FM stations, which we probably shouldn't have, but I think it's been long enough now. It's been about 13 years. We probably won't get in trouble for it at this point right now. But you also hear some kind of janky cuts because we cut around some of the music on the FM station that we aren't allowed to play here on YouTube. So you may hear that as well. But I hope you enjoy this episode, this YouTube exclusive, the very first Foundation chat with Bam Margera right here on YouTube. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Share it with a friend. Follow me at This Is Goober, and also subscribe today at youtube.com/at Foundation Radio Pod. We will see you again next week for another archived episode of the Foundation Chat series. You can find them all here. You'll see them all in the playlist as well. And I hope you enjoy and let us know what you think. Peace.
I just lost my hat. Welcome to Foundation Radio on 91.7 WCUR, Westchester, the Curve. My name is Adam Barnard. I'm here with Greg Mead, Sam Krepps, Steve from Stygian, but we also have a special guest host tonight. His name is Mr. Bam Margera. Say hello to everyone.
What up? And I also have the hot dog strutting floozy here with me, and my trainer Jackass, a.k.a. Jim Cosgrove.
Hey, everybody.
What's going on? We have a packed house tonight. We're going to be chatting with Bam for a little while. We're going to play some of his favorite music. We're going to hear some stories from the road, and may ask Jackass some funny questions, I'm hoping. Sam, what's going on, man?
Not too much, Adam. Just want to remind everybody you're listening to 91.7 WCUR Westchester, broadcasting to you live from top the Sykes Student Union building on the campus of Westchester University.
Close enough.
And I'm out of it today, Adam.
That's all right, man. Everybody's allowed to have an off day. So, Bam, did you want to start with a song, or did you want to...
No, it was chit-chat.
Let's chit-chat for a while? Okay.
We just got back from New York City. I went and did a live thing with MTV. It's kind of like TRL, but it's called The 7 now.
Oh, okay.
TRL's now gone.
Yeah, I was just going to say, what's like the format of that show? Did they anything crazy
I guess
happen?
they have 7 people come up or whatever, but I was the last one, and they kind of did a would you rather type deal with me, and they were like, would you rather have the host of The 7 spit in your mouth, or would you rather go out in the street of New York City and find a piece of gum on the ground and eat it and chew it? And I said, well, if he spits in my mouth, then I'm going to need the gum, so both. so they went out and had like a random dude go find a hunk of gum outside.
Ew.
Comes back in, and the dude hocked the sickest loogie in my mouth, and then I put the gum in my mouth, and when I was chewing it, I could feel the dude's loogie. And when I was eating it, I remember the dude he's like, man, I just got over a minging ass cold too. You know, I'm just like, and once he said that, I was like, and then I threw up all over the stage.
Nice. It was live on the air too? Oh, Jesus.
Then I went to swing by DeVito, who did Viva La Bam, is now doing New York Inc.
Oh, okay.
So I went to go say hi.
Now, what's New York Inc.? That's is that the Miami Inc.?
It's basically Miami Inc., but now it's New York Inc.
Oh, okay.
So I roll up just wanting to say hi. They put a mic on me, everything. I'm like, am I getting a tattoo? So I had to come up with something real quick. So I got beer plus ice equals ice cold beer right above Don Vito on my leg. And I was like, in order for this to happen, Tammy over here has to get completely naked and sit in D-style position as I rest my foot on her back so I could get it tattooed. That way I have something nice to look at and I'll forget about the pain of the tattoo.
Well, that makes sense. I mean, that's fair enough.
Makes total sense.
Were you okay with that, Tammy? I mean, was that something that was...
Time.
Okay.
I wasn't even drinking, which is terrible. No, but I had on thigh-high boots and a hat.
Well, okay.
That's
well,
it.
That was it? Okay, well...
That was really it, and there was like 30 camera guys, and all I could hear is the of the cameras, just like every position.
The best part was, though,
something.
like, everybody who's there, they're just like, did you plan this, or is this just spur of the moment? I'm like, spur of the moment, dude. And they're like, are you really going to get naked? She's like, yeah, I don't care.
It was fun.
No, Smokey and the Bandit. No.
Smokey and the goddamn bandit.
So, Jackass, what exactly do you do to train Bam? I mean, what exactly does that entail?
Today was hell.
Was it a little hellish?
And it was kind of unplanned. Louis,
On the fly.
from the Moxie.
Lou Goyle.
Well, yeah, Lou Goyle.
He was our inspiration, though.
He was asking Jackass to run around the block with him at my house, which is basically 3 miles. So he kept talking about it. I'm hungover as hell from New York that I don't want to do it. So like when I get home, I get in the shower. I'm like, all right, we're going to do this. So me and Jackass start running. We're like, Louis, you're the one who wanted to do this. He's like, no, I'm going to sit here and play bass.
Yeah.
So we run 3
you on the
miles. Then we decided to walk through the woods, and I realized that there's a whole bunch of like pricker bushes that I could cut now, being it's like the end of winter.
Yeah.
But once they start growing, you can't get to it to cut.
Time is now, yeah.
I found an axe and I found some cutters, and
Some
me and
loppers.
Jackass went at it for like 2 hours. I know for a fact that my arms will not move tomorrow.
What's funny is for most people that would just be something out of the question, manual labor, get someone to do that. This guy was just excited at the task.
Just
at hand.
about, just stoked about doing
It's
it.
way better than going to the gym, because at the gym you're like counting. You're like 1, 2, 3. Now I got to go do this.
It's like some Rocky IV style
this,
training.
like going in the yard and cutting stuff with an axe and dragging the logs out to make a pile, like you're on a mission.
Right.
To like, there's an ending to it.
Yeah.
Like once all the logs are gone and into a pile, and you cut everything that you wanted, you're not even thinking about the workout. It's just happening.
But very pointless, nonetheless, because of all the acreage of land you have. There's really no reason to actually clear anything.
How much acreage do you have on your property?
14.
Have you like walked around the entire circumference of that? I mean, is there stuff like that all over the place? I mean, did you do that as a workout with Jackass all the time, or?
Yeah, I mean, I've walked through all of it, but there's about 1 acre in the back that's like kind of swampy.
We also look for bodies that might turn up.
Ooh.
You know, Ray Brower, whatever.
Yeah,
Ray
anything like
Brower. Side of the railroad tracks there.
What's Ray Brower? Is there something behind that?
That's a Stand By Me reference.
But we went all the way in the back where we never go, and there's like all kinds of empty beer cans and stuff. Like I think kids sneak through the back and just chill back there and drink.
Dude, there's nothing creepier than pulling up to your house and seeing the cars that park out in front of your house. Like I've been there, and they just sit there in front of the gate waiting for people to come up, and like there's nothing worse than that. So I can't imagine people sitting behind your house. Like what's worse, people pulling in front of your house and sitting there, or people being on the property? Like back there.
I'd probably say knowing that there's random people in my yard like drinking or spying on me or something. That's more creepy. Like actually 2 nights ago, it was 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm just sitting at home watching TV. 3 a.m. Knock, knock. You know, it was super freaky. Dude.
What?
I'm like, who would ever come over at 3 in the morning without calling me first?
Right.
So I'm like scared to answer the door, and I'm scared to even peek through it to see who it is.
I remember that.
So I finally, I'm like, all right, whatever. So I open it up. I don't recognize the guy. I'm like, can I help you? Like, and he's like, yeah, like what? Nobody showed up yet? I'm like, I have to go to New York at 6 in the morning, dude. I'm like, who's showing up? Oh, well, Barback and everybody was in town, and they said that they were coming back here. I was like, nobody's coming back here. I am not having a party. I'm watching TV, and I'm getting ready to go to bed because I have to go to New York at 6 a.m.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that was crazy.
That's
So the
creepy.
girls came.
And he's sitting there sipping on a beer. So, like, no party then? No, idiot. Get out of here.
Get the hell out of the house. In case you're just tuning in, this is 91.7 WCUR Westchester The Curve. I am here right now with Bam Margera, Tam, Jackass, and Steve from Stygian. Yeah. So, Bam, why don't you tell us a little bit about Jackass 3.5? When is that premiering? Is that doing tomorrow?
Apparently, it comes out tomorrow, but I called Chester County Bookstore, and they said that they have no order of it at all, and they looked up online and said that it's not. So I don't know who's right and who's wrong. I think that you could like see part of it online tomorrow.
There's going to be like a streaming feed of 3.5, and I believe it's free.
Oh, yeah. You know what? It's that juice.com, right? JOOST.com.
Yeah,
right?
it is.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I think they said they're releasing it in like parts.
Little pieces.
So,
yeah, and they said
Teasers.
it on live on MTV, so it must be true.
huh.
Yeah.
Well,
I had the privilege of getting to see it because I worked on 3.5 out in California
oh, okay.
as a PA. Thanks to this guy over here, Moon Man, for getting me a
The
job.
receptionist, they love him because, you know, he's a trainer. So like when they say like, hey, can you go get the mail out of the mailbox? Like he'll sprint and go get it, and then do push-ups while he's there, and then sprint back. And
When
like,
you're
are you
sprinting
serious?
and you have
Like,
an earpiece in and a walkie on you, dude, you look serious. You know?
Yeah,
There's-
that looks professional right there.
nobody-
Nobody's
but
going
like
to mess with
the
that.
last guy that was the you know, it would be like, can you go get the mail? I guess, you know, and then they mope all the way to the mailbox, you know. Then all of a sudden I'm like, trust me, Jacasso's a good worker. And then they hire him. He's like, I'll go get it.
Sprints all the way down there. That's great.
2, 3, 4.
What kind of stuff can we be expecting out of 3.5? Is there anything more great that you do to Novak in this movie, or what?
Oh, Novak, yeah.
That's good.
See, Novak's not like part of the official cast of Jackass, so if he does like a gnarly stunt, you know, he gets kind of put on the back burner. So I basically pushed him off my 40-foot roll-in, which is basically vert. It's 40 feet straight down, and he was on a toilet with wheels with his pants down reading a newspaper. And he leans way too much forward.
It's flat.
Basically free falls 40 feet right to his face.
Wow.
And he broke 4 ribs, and you know, the paramedics are like, we insist that you go to the hospital. And he's like, you can't do anything about broken ribs. I told you, like, all that you can do is sit there and let it heal. You can't even put an ace bandage around it. You know, I ain't going to no hospital. And they're like, you're going to the hospital. So they're taking him to the hospital. As soon as they check him in, so what's your name? Novak, Novak. They type it in. They're like, You have a warrant out for your arrest, and the police are coming, and you're going to prison as soon as you're done.
Oh my God!
As soon as you're done out of this hospital.
That's what set off this chain reaction. Now he's actually in there now for 11 and a half months. The judge just denied his request to go back in front of the judge. Yeah.
Wow.
So me and Bam had an interesting experience going to the jail the other day to go see him. The first time we tried, Abby calls and she's like, this is gonna sound like a weird question, but are you both wearing underwear? Can I tell you how uncomfortable it was for me to ask Bam if he was wearing underwear? Like, how do you bring that up to your friends? Like,
so, Bam, I'm coming to your house so we can go to the jail. Do you have any underwear? Ew, why?
he just gave me this look, like, just completely, like, baffled. Like,
I would have done the same thing.
But, like,
and then he's like,
if you're going to see your buddy in jail, wouldn't it make sense the least amount of clothes you have on, the better?
Right.
Because, like, it's less things that you could hide.
Well, that's kind of my logic to it.
So we're trying to think of the logic of why you need to wear boxers or whatever.
We're
Like,
just trying to.
well, we're just trying to help you out, because if you get scared seeing all these, like, inmates, and you crap your pants, that's $100 pair of jeans that you're wasting. I mean, now it's only $7.99 pair of boxers. We're just trying to help you.
What if you chafe? What if you have chafing while you're inside the jail? You're sweating, you're nervous.
We don't need any chafing in the
need
jail.
that.
We're just trying to help you out.
Then you have to spend more money on powder for your legs, and you don't want to do that. Yeah, you're at TV Land. You wearing crotches panties?
No, they denied it. They denied me.
At the
I
front
think
gate, yeah.
Novak put my name on the list, and like somebody there, because they don't like Novak in there because he was talking. That's pretty much what he was doing, weekends in jail for 6 months, and then when he came on my radio show on Sirius 28, he's basically like, everybody at George W. Hill Correctional Facility is idiots because they have 30 of us pissed in a line, and the last person they're looking at is me, so I take my buddy's clean piss and pour it in, and I get away scot-free. So when he comes in, the warden's like, I heard your radio show, you're getting 11 months.
Just right off the bat like that. And
So he's still pretty sharp, it seems.
he's still on the ball.
He's
Yeah,
still on point.
He looks like the American terrorist because they have him in solitary confinement. They won't let him shave or cut his hair. He's
Are
got
you
long ass
serious?
nails. Yeah,
Wow.
No
Yeah.
way.
Mm-hmm. He has a beard like Ryan Dunn.
It's huge. But see, it's so ratty that it grows in
I would
patches. Like, it doesn't look like Greg's.
I don't know if I can
Greg-
picture him with a beard.
It looks
It
like
looks-
he has alopecia areata. When you have
Google it.
spots on your
It's
beard.
everywhere.
There's like little blank holes, and it like grows in random spots.
Very healthy.
Yeah, it
Does
looks
he-
great.
Does any of the time count that he already served?
No,
So it's now? 11
it's
months
from
now?
the time he went in February. That's when it starts, and then he's in his minimum release date is December 30th of this year. So he actually could be in there longer if they decided.
Yo, Adam, pass this on too. If he actually lets that beard grow out till he leaves jail, I'll come film him. Tell him that if he just lets that beard grow, I'll sit outside the jail and wait for him. I'll come home from California.
I think he's gonna have to.
He's going to have to do it. Well, we're in the jail. I'm sitting there the first day I wanted to see him, and I'm talking to him, and he goes, we were just, chatting and talking, and he goes, hey, you remember your buddy Sam?
remember him.
You remember your buddy Sam? I'm like, yeah. He's like, remember he did that filming for me the one time when we were trying to do that t-shirt thing? Can he film me like coming out of jail? Like, I want a wide fish angle lens, like maybe like a panoramic view.
Can you ask Bam to get a crane or a dolly shot?
Get some boom microphones. You got boom microphones? I'm like, how am I going to pull off something like this, man?
Abby needs a picture of that.
What's
I
that?
love when we were filming though, and it was like a 5-minute video, and he's like, "Well, we got to film for at least like 7 days."
He wanted us to follow him around for 7 days.
I was like,
I want a digital beta SP cam on a dolly when I get out.
I was like,
Oh,
dude,
my
I got
God.
like a $500 camera. Like,
You got the GoPro and the other
well,
one.
that I didn't even have that then. I just had like one
He
cheap
thought-
camera.
He really thought we were going to turn something out of that.
I was like, what do you want me to do?
All we were trying to do was film a promo for that free Novak thing we were doing for him.
You know what? I did see this.
Yeah, he filmed that, and then he was like, "We gotta follow me around for like at least 7 to 10 days. I need you to get me waking up, going to the bathroom, shaving, brushing my teeth. Just watch me for a while. That's all I want you to
And
do.
you better do it, Adam, or you're a waste of a manager.
That's it. You're gonna be
Well,
fired."
we shot all those interviews, and then we didn't even shoot one with him.
Yeah, that's right. We got.
I have like
Cleveland, we got
interviews
him.
at Cleveland, you and Abby, and then like nothing to him. It's like great.
Speaking of Cleveland, and his nickname, Sea Otter. People want to know this story.
What about my black eye?
Yeah, I read it on TMZ and I didn't believe it. So,
Yeah, I had
do you
a-
want to clear the air on that right now?
I had
or
a
what?
big black eye for about 10 days. I was in Austin, Texas at South by Southwest with Yellow Wolf and the Sounds. And it's basically like Mardi Gras down there. So it's just a bunch of drunk people all over the street. So I bump into this this heavy chick, and she's just like, "Watch where you're going, a-hole." You know, and I'm just like, "What?" I'm like, "Listen, you sea otter, what are you even doing in Texas anyway? You should be laying on an iceberg in Alaska, you beached whale." And then she just came up and whacked me right in the eye with her fist.
Didn't she chase you up the block a little bit?
Then I fell. And then she kicked me right in the face, and then my nose started gushing blood.
My God.
And I'm still laughing. Like, so she's trying to chase me. I'm running around in circles, kind of like fast walking, but she's like trying to run with her fat ass. And then I'm like, "Look, I'm getting chased by a sea otter. Has this ever happened before? I don't think anybody's ever been chased by a sea otter."
I was just going to say,
I can totally see him doing this.
TMZ made it sound worse than it actually was. They said
That's
you were
what
out
they
for
do
7
about
minutes
everything.
Well, how did her boyfriend handle all that?
That's the thing. Her boyfriend was there, and he's just like, he wanted to hang out with me. So he's just like, "Calm down, Bam. Please don't talk about my girlfriend like that." You know, I'm just like, "No, I am going to talk about her like that. My nose is gushing blood. She's a sea otter." And he's like, "Well, do you still want to hang out in my hotel?" I'm like, "I just humiliated you and your girlfriend, and you still want to hang out with me? What is wrong with you?"
Oh man, only sea otters. That's a great nickname for Cleveland now. I saw that on TMZ or one website, and I was watching MSNBC. And Jackass 3D star Bam Margera knocked unconscious in South by Southwest. I was like, no.
Dude, they always play it up.
I saw
so
the
bad.
report that it was like, and then he called an overweight girl a sea otter, and I was like, as soon as I heard sea otter, I was like, that definitely happened. I just can't imagine exactly what happened.
It said I was knocked out for 7 minutes. I wasn't knocked out at all, but I did fall to the ground. But like, do you know how long 7 minutes is?
Dude.
It's like, because there was obviously a reporter there with a stopwatch. Like, all right.
That's like a Pink Floyd song, man.
Oh man.
Everybody knew about that. My work the next day was asking me.
Listen, hot dog strutting floozy, if you're gonna talk into the mic.
Okay.
And watch your mouth.
Three-door whore, watch your mouth.
Backdoor bandit.
What was this about butt cheeks now?
Oh, on the ride home, Jackass was driving, and I decided to titty bang some butt cheeks in the back of the car. So we're in the back of a Porsche Panamera.
Panamera, babe.
Panamera.
He keeps on calling. He goes, "Yeah, I have a Porsche, a Panorama," and he makes fun of me all the time because I pronounce words so wrong.
She says coleslaw. She says colt slaw.
Didn't you?
Potato salad is
And you
potato salad.
And you ordered the General So's chicken.
Oh, General So's.
General Tussauds chicken.
Well, no one's ever corrected me. So, but he calls his friggin' Porsche a Panorama.
Panorama.
Panamera.
Panamera.
Learn the name.
You learn how to speak, woman.
You were in the Porsche. Jackass was driving, and there was butt cheek action. Is that what's going on so far?
And
Okay.
oatmeal is oatmeal. Anyway, yeah.
Fun.
So she's
Joe
totally
Crack
naked
Jones.
in the back of the Porsche. The Porsche is driving on the highway on New Jersey Turnpike, and it's basically just bouncing up and down like it has hydraulics in it. And we just look over and we just see this old lady just like, "Oh my God!" That actually happened another time. Louis was pumping gas in the same car, and we're at Wawa. Same thing. Cars going up and down.
Oh, yeah,
This
yeah.
businessman's walking by, and it's like 3 p.m, and he just looks at Louis pumping gas. Then he looks in the car, and then he does a quick double take, and then he looks at Louis, and Louis is just like, "Yep, that's happening." And he's just like, "Really? That's effing awesome, man. That's awesome."
So, what was the story? I was meaning to ask you about cars and stuff and getting in trouble. What was the story that I hear after Ryan G's wedding when you and Jackass got in trouble, and then the subsequent aftermath
That
in the
is
hotel?
a perfect case of this guy getting away with everything, and me never getting away with anything.
So it's like 3 a.m, and apparently the landscaper guy is just fed up that everybody from the wedding is staying at this Courtyard Marriott in Lansdale or something. So, you know, he must have been furious about seeing it in and out. So it's 3 a.m. Me and Jackass decide to go out to the R8 and blast the new sound CD. And, you know, he knocks on the door. I'm like, "What?" And he's just like, and he says, what was that?
That was just a beat that I was putting on.
No, he said,
Threw me off for a minute too. I was like, "What the hell?"
He's like, "What are you doing here? Do you have a room here?" I'm like, "Why would I park at the Courtyard Marriott if I didn't have a room here, idiot?" And then he's like, "Well, don't you know that people are trying to sleep?" And I'm just like, "The windows are turned up." He's like, "Well, you got to turn it down." I'm like, "No, there's a brand new CD and we're enjoying it. Screw off." So I just turn it back up, roll up the window. Then he knocks again. I'm like, "What?" He's like, if you don't turn it down, I'm going to call the police. I'm like, well, I don't need a play-by-play. Just do it. and then he knocks on the door again. I'm like, what? He's like, the police have been called. I'm like, good. Then I realized that we're both sipping on a beer in the car, and the car started. You know,
no.
So technically you could get in trouble.
Yeah.
So after 10 minutes, I finally turn it off. The guy follows me in, and he's just like, just so you know, I'm going to make sure you're kicked out. I'm like, kicked out? Ha, I doubt it. And then I just pull out a wad of 20 grand and 100. And I just go, and I'm waving in his face all drunk. Then the police pull up. And, and I see him coming up right as I'm going in the lobby. I just look at Picasso. I'm like, room 301. And I just bolt all the way up to it. And then
Gone. He was gone. And that's
Louis,
how we need to train now. We just need to have the fuzz out.
Louis in there sleeping. I'm like, the police are going to come up. He's like, what? Are you serious? I'm like, yep. Police are coming up right now. He's like, nah, you're exaggerating. I'm like, no, I'm not. And all of a sudden, kung, kung, kung. I'm like, answer the door naked like you're sleeping. So Louis answers the door naked. He's like, with his glasses on. He's like, hello? Like, what are you doing in here? He's like, I'm sleeping. He's like, do you have anybody else in here? He's like, yeah, my roommate, the guy I'm staying with, you know, and they're like, could we take a look? And then they open up the sheets, and it's just me with all my clothes on, hiding. They're like, that's the kid. Let's get him. And then they realized it was me, and I ended up getting away with it. But Picasso didn't do anything wrong. I was the one who wanted to blast the music. He was just in there listening. So they're like, we arrested your buddy. He's in the back of the car in handcuffs. I'm like, what?
Handcuffs.
And they're saying that he's being insubordinate. I'm like, that is so not like Picasso. That definitely didn't happen. I'm like, if you're going to arrest him, uncuff him and arrest me, because I was the one being an ass.
Now, what were they saying to you the whole time that was going on?
I learned quickly that as much as I watch Cops and whatnot, I guess I wasn't paying attention to the way you have to treat a police officer. Because to me, I mean, I thought if I was just polite enough, I'd be okay. I also went with the raising my hand to speak thing.
Oh, yeah, good. Elementary school, right?
Yeah,
that's good.
That didn't fly. Because then, you know, he gave me one option to get a ride home, and it happened to be, I live in LA now, but it happened to be the wedding where all my friends are at, so I can't get anyone to give me a ride because they're all at this wedding. So I was left with my dad, and I'm not going to wake him up. You know, that's not a good start to anyone's day. So I raised my hand and asked if I could maybe call someone else, and immediately on doing so, I was then handcuffed and taken. Well, I was threatened I was going to go to jail.
Right.
So then they came to the conclusion that if I drive him home, then you know, and plus I was kicked out anyway.
Right.
So
Well, the cops are coming out with you smiling like it's a game.
They're coming out smiling.
Everybody's jazzed.
The landscaper dude
excited.
is so pissed because I'm like slapping fives with the police and all that.
It's a party.
Then there's two people checking in at the reception, and I just go, good, I don't want to stay here anyway because this place has bed bugs, hundreds of them. And I look right at the people checking in, eye contact, hundreds of them. And I just picture checking into a place like, this place has bed bugs, hundreds of them.
That'd be enough for me to turn around and walk away. That's hilarious.
I like how hundreds makes it that much worse, too.
And the facial expression, too. I bet he was so serious about it.
Oh, just wide-eyed, staring right at the people that I don't even know.
So, Bam, what do you got going on with Willie Nelson coming up?
Me, Knoxville, and Ryan Dunn are doing a movie called Mustache Riders in Tennessee and Colorado and Mexico. And, yeah, it's pretty funny. What's it about? It's basically about we're all brothers, and we find half of a map that leads to loads of gold in Colorado, and we're trying to find the other half. And when I get sent to jail in Mexico, Willie Nelson's in the cell with me, and he has the other half of the map. So then we go try to find it, and then somebody else finds out what we have, and then they try to
take it from you.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just some wild rides. Are you doing your own stunts in this movie, or what's going on with that? You are?
Yeah.
Nice.
Knoxville. Anything with Knoxville, he always insists that we do our own stunts. We'd never have a stunt man do. You know.
Yeah, especially at the kind of stuff you guys are doing. I can't imagine you guys not doing that at this point. But what's Willie Nelson like in person? Is he a complete stoner? Or, I mean, can you actually have a conversation with him? Or
I actually haven't met him, but all those dudes have.
You were telling me about Matthew McConaughey out front. What's the story with this?
Well, Tammy over here thinks, oh, I love that Matthew McConaughey.
He's
I'm
beautiful.
Like, yeah, well, wait till you meet him, man.
Oh, I know, but he's still beautiful.
Oh, my God, dude. So when I met him, he was talking, he's like, So when I did my first hit movie, Dazed and Confused, thank you. And then he bows. I was like, who does that? That's like me saying like, well, when I did my first hit movie, Jackass, thank you. Everybody be like, you're
So
an
pretentious.
idiot. Yeah, and then he's like, yeah, I got my own clothing line, JKL. Just keep living, man. Just keep living. I'm like, ew,
God.
wow. Ew, get me away from this
What
guy.
a douchebag.
I can't believe he's like that because he is so freaking beautiful.
Well, I heard he doesn't shower very much. I know we were talking about that out front. I heard he doesn't
know.
really wear deodorant or anything like that, but I can't imagine.
Puts on hoagie deodorant.
My dad just texted me and says Matthew McConaughey smells, so I guess everybody really knows about that. 610-436-2478 if you have any questions for Bam Margera or Jackass, because, you should probably ask Jackass a question.
If you're old school, get on Instant Messenger and find us at WCUR 917.
Do we even have that on
If
here
anyone
anymore?
still
Is it even
uses
open?
that.
Just keep
Yeah, it's
living,
open.
man.
Just keep living, man.
He has a beautiful wife and 2 beautiful children.
So, you
Well,
met,
when
you
I
met
did
Justin
Dazed and
Bieber?
Confused, thank you. Justin Bieber.
So you met Justin Bieber?
At the jail cell.
No, I haven't met
Get his
Justin
aut-
Bieber.
Did you get his autograph for me? I actually did meet him in LA, but it was really quick.
Yeah. What's the strangest celebrity story that you have ever? Like the weirdest
Actually,
encounter?
recently, I go into the Paramount lot and I gotta piss so bad. Like I'm literally squeezing the tip, and I'm just like, and the door's locked. I'm like, please, and then out comes Billy Crystal taking a minging ass crap, dude. Like something crawled up his ass and died.
Wow. That's Billy Crystal.
Billy Crystal comes out, and I'm just like.
Did he say anything when he came out?
No, he was just like, he was just bummed out that he opened up the door and like he totally knew that I knew who he was.
Bam, you have anything else you want to plug before we let you go here for the night?
I guess I would say 3.5. Check it out on juice.com. Well, part of it. And then get ready for Mustache Riders, but that won't be ready till about 6 months from now.
Any future news on Jackass? Anything like that? Jackass 4?
I mean,
Anything
we're
coming?
always saving up ideas, but in order to one up the last movie, it takes a while because you have to think of something better than the porta potty bungee. Like
what was
like
the?
how do you beat that?
How do you top that?
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
That was
and
out of control.
Who used the porter potty before
Oh, yeah.
they did that with Steve-O? Do you know who went in there? Was it
basically everybody tried to go as much as they could, but this one guy was saving up all of his dog crap, and he had like a trash.
Oh yeah, that was in the movie.
A trash bag filled with dog crap,
Yeah.
and he just poured it all in there.
That is fantastic.
It was so disgusting in there. And like you figure it's like a Hollywood movie. Like technically you could like put a whole bunch of fake crap in there, but no.
Right.
No.
Being it's
Not in
Tremaine
Jackass.
directing and Knoxville's there, like it has to be real.
As far as like you've had the whole history with it, skateboarding and your own movies and stuff. Did you ever see yourself to be this big, this famous at a young age? When did you start? When did you realize that this was what you wanted to do with your entire life? Like when did you know that this was
Well, I mean, I was always skating, and I had a filmer with me nonstop. So whenever I wanted to do something stupid, there's always a camera ready to hit record. So I guess through word of mouth, the right people got a hold of it, and they knew I was from Westchester, PA. So they called the local skate shop and asked if they knew who I was, and they say, yeah, he's sponsored by us. So they
It
asked
just
for his
kinda
phone
went-
number, my phone number. So I pick up the phone. It's like, hey, it's Jeff Tremaine and Spike Jones. We wanted to know if you want to be on a show on MTV. I'm like, sure.
no, I don't want to be on there at all. That's it.
So yeah, like a light switch, it became like big time overnight.
That's awesome, man. All right, well, it looks like we're going to wrap up here with Bam Margera and Jackass and Tam Tam. Thank you guys so much for coming in.
Thank
we really
you.
appreciate it.
Thank you, Adam.
Yeah.
Jackass 3.5 starts tomorrow on juice.com. Check it out there.
Foundation Radio is hosted, recorded, and produced by Adam Barnard. Additional production and narration provided by Sam Krepps. The show was mixed and engineered by Carl Pinnell. Our intro and outro music was performed and produced by Dumb Ugly. Additional musical accompaniment provided by Enrichment. Special thanks to Greg Mead, Joe Keane, Jeff Quinn, and Dr. Ruth Almy. Follow us on Twitter at FND Radio Pod and find our entire archive at foundationradio.net. This has been a Butts Carlton Media Production. Butts Carlton, Proprietor.